Welcome back to Comedy Trap House News. It's your boy Marvin. And clearly, we are excited today to make an announcement. So we'll start with the announcement that it looks like we were about to start with, but we didn't start with, so we're going to start with right now.
Hello? Yo, I'm in the booth. I'm going to call you right back. Nah, I just got to put this one part down. I'm going to call you back. I'm at the studio, man.
Hard at work. You know, I actually like that. But listen, I heard the news. Super Bowl, baby.
Man, quit playing with me.
I don't play. I'm a coach now.
No, for real. Don't play like that, man.
You're playing the halftime show. You deserve this.
Are you serious? How you know?
I'm Coach Prime. And Coach Prime is always one step ahead. This is your moment.
Put that on everything.
You tripping. Remember, when you look good, you feel good. When you feel good, you dance good. When you dance good and you sing good, you get to play on the world's largest stage.
Damn. I'm going to call you back.
You gonna go.
Now, let me tell you how excited I was about this announcement. Now, mind you, I was going to watch the Super Bowl anyway and do it every year. Some halftime shows I skip, I don't really care about. Whatever. This one, get your popcorn ready, ladies and gentlemen, because I will be sitting there. Usher is arguably one of the greatest performers of our generation. And I know there's going to be someone in the beehive to be like, well, be us. Relax. This is not about her. This is about Usher. So, get your popcorn ready, ladies and gentlemen. If you're not going to make it to Vegas, all you got to do is go to Super Bowl halftime and it'll be your opportunity. Speaking of game performances, also, we're going to jump down to Alabama, where band conductor Johnny Mims was tased at the end of a football game 3 times in front of the kids he was conducting. Yes. So Johnny Mims was out, the team was at a football game, and him and the coach of the other team agreed, we're going to play a 5th quarter. So while his band was playing, the police approached Mr. Mims. And Mr. Mims made a series of mistakes at that very moment. The first one was telling police, we're going to play a 5th quarter, because clearly they were confused. A 5th, 1, 2, 3. No, it's only 4 quarters and $1, sir. You got to pack up and go. They wanted to get him out of there immediately. But like he said, we had made this agreement with the other school and we're going to play. And so he continued to play. Now, the second mistake was him saying we had made an agreement with the other school. Where was the other band director at this moment? Because if I'm Johnny Mims getting tased, I'm looking up like, where were you when all conductors needed help? Sorry, not all the jokes work, ladies and gentlemen, but you're here for them. We attempt them, we throw them at the wall. Sometimes they stick, sometimes they don't. Anyway, Mr. Mims was tased in front of all of his students. Now, the issue is, and the problem is, of course, you have a black conductor and you have police tripping on their own power. Now, police have come out and said, oh, he swung at us and he pushed a cop while conducting music. And then I remember what a conductor actually does. He was out there conducting and they thought this was a threat, because that's the only thing I see a band director. I've been in band, okay? I played the trumpet for a number of years, okay? Nobody in the band room is that tough. Maybe the drummers. The drummers might have a little bit of thug in them. The band conductor is not him, okay? He listens to Shakespeare and Mozart and Bach for fun. Stop it. I know I said listen to Shakespeare. I meant Shakespeare in the Park. You know what I'm talking about. Relax, because I know you always on next. Anyway, so he didn't deserve this, and this is another egregious police abuse of power here in the good old US of A. Since we're talking about abuses of power, let's go on to what happened this weekend. Oregon beat Colorado like they stole something. This was abuse of power. The Oregon Mighty Ducks, as they're known, not these Ducks. Not these Ducks. Colorado may have better chance. But these Ducks, these beefed up, caked up Ducks went and beat Colorado. Now, if you watch the game and if you know football, you kind of saw Colorado had a few weaknesses coming into the game. First, and mainly in the trenches. Colorado's offensive line is kind of small. Colorado's defensive line is kind of small. Then we knew from the TCU game, Colorado's defense wasn't all that great. And Oregon beat the brakes on every one of those levels, okay? Not to mention Shador was missing his #1 target because of a dirty hit the week prior. Now, with all that being said, none of what's happening right now is actually about the football game. And that's what you guys have to be mindful of. It has nothing to do with the actual X's and O's and who was a better team and who wasn't. It was about an institution, the NCAA, the system, the way it's supposed to be done, versus a black man who decided to buck the system, right? They took this black man and everything that he was about, and it was a talking point. Every school had a fiery speech before their game. Every school, every pundit, everybody, except for the select few, I'll say about 12% of the U.S. population, y'all know the math, were cheering against this man. And this man did nothing but take a school that was literally of no notoriety and give it notoriety. Not only did this man do that, this man took an HBCU program and the entire HBCU football program and put it back on the map. Celebrities, everyone going to HBCUs representing. Then he took Colorado and he made it a top tier HBCU school. No, we haven't seen it yet, but watch what those application numbers look like next year. Colorado's going to be dark as ish. And I'm not talking about outside. And I say all of this to say, I still believe. I believe, you know. You believe? You don't believe? Because Coach Prime, this is only game 3. Next week is another really bad game on their schedule. But even if they go out and finish the season 8-9-2, they become, this is a story that should still be celebrated. So I'm still going to support Prime. I'm still excited about what he's doing in Colorado. And so should you. And remember, it's not just a football game anymore. It's so much deeper. Now that that's over, one more thing is over. The Writer Guild strike. Seemingly. Okay, so it seems over. The signs are down. The pickets are up. There was an announcement from both sides that said they have come to a tentative agreement on terms. Now, the strike is still going because until that contract is signed, it means nothing, which is something that people should pay attention to in their real life. Until shit is signed, it means nothing. Anyway, so the deal came out and the writers are celebrating. They're really excited about what this deal will mean going forward. And they're excited like, you know how we get when we turn up at the club. We just have a good time. This is how each of the messages that have come out has been. They're thrilled about what's coming forward. And it's important because this strike is only 3 years. I mean, this contract is only 3 years long. So we'll be looking down the barrel of the same thing in 3 years. This is also the longest strike in WGA history, which means going forward, if the terms in this deal are not what they should be, it's going to make the fight down the road even harder. So, fingers crossed on that. The other thing is now you have people coming out saying, well, the potential fallout, if the contract is as good as the writers thinks it is going to be on the consumers. False. That is not true. Here's the thing. The only reason it'll be a potential fallout on the consumers is if those companies instead of deciding to not make as much profit, decides to upcharge. And that's really what the problem is in the US anyway, right? Corporate greed, or potential corporate greed, because they will tell you, and they've said it, Netflix, Hulu, man, we don't make any money streaming. It's so hard to make money streaming because you don't know who's watching what and da 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 da. Hulu's latest valuation was $30 billion. $30 billion. You're telling me that something that's losing money is worth $30 billion? It don't make sense. It don't make sense. You're not going to pull that out. But that's what has to happen in the big scheme, is you have to be able to call out corporate greed. And I'm not sure what what consumers have the ability to do to make sure prices don't get raised. But it's really us against them. Like, you have to make your own stand, just like the writers did and just like the actors did. And we're hoping all the dominoes fall into place and the SAG strike is over soon. But like I'm saying, do not let the corporate greed and let the corporations flip the story on you. Speaking of flip, I done flipped out over Ireland's gymnastics. Gymnastics in Ireland. So, this video went viral this weekend. She's a young black woman, and the slew of whites had won and medaled, okay? And during the medaling event, you see she's towards the front half of this. The judge skipped giving her a medal. Just skipped giving her a medal. And then just eased on down the line. And it wasn't the whiz. And so, of course, it was so blatantly obvious that there was massive fallout and feedback. And of course, Gymnastics Ireland was like, release a statement. And so they released a statement. And part of the statement, because the whole statement is bullshit, but part of the statement that gets me is this part right here. We've identified the official concern and informed the individual in question of the complaint. Hey, did you know you did something racist? Me? I can't see that manual. Thank you. The official accepted fully that what had happened had not been acceptable and stressed that it had not been intentional. And then upon recognizing their mistake, immediately went to fix it. Did you not see her? Because it was a line of kids. So my question is, did you just not see her when you were walking by giving out the medals in a straight line? Oh, no. I'm sorry. Maybe you saw the black kid and was like, of course she didn't win this medal. Come on, son. We know you blackies can't flip like that. We know that's not your thing. And so Simone Biles came out and she said, my heart goes out with her. And it's just one of those things where this young black lady stayed dignified, right? Because that's what we do. In the face of those types of things, we have to stay dignified. She didn't react. She stayed there while the judge in the blue is going around putting medals on everyone else. And then someone else walked up to him and was like, hey, where's your medal at? Mind your business. Or whatever the conversation was. But that's what I feel like it was said. Like, hey, you took your medal off already? I need a picture with your medal on. Anyway, this is what I want to say to this young girl and all young girls. And this is not just in the continental USA. This is all around the world because it's important. And so here it is. Strive to be anything and anyone you want to be, because you can be anyone and anything you want to be. You just always have to be black first. We don't get to take that off. Now, you decide if that's a positive message or a negative message. Now, speaking of negatives and tragedies, we're about to get really heavy. A daycare in the Bronx, Nicholas Dominici, a one-year-old baby, died from an overdose of fentanyl. Now, it wasn't just that baby. It was two others. There was three other kids. And of course, the woman who ran the daycare, Gray, whatever her name is, Mendez, 36 years old, had fentanyl in the house, right? And apparently the kids napped by the fentanyl. Now, mind you, we already know how dangerous fentanyl residue is. And if this is something that they do, I'm sure she knows gloves and masks and everything else, because they said this wasn't a low-level type of operation. This was a mid-tier operation, meaning they were making a ton of money, but exposing these kids to death. I was going to say danger. This is death. We know what fentanyl is doing. We know what the opioid crisis is in the United States of America right now. How dare you put kids in this type of danger? So I'm hoping from the bottom of my gut that the judge throws the entire book at them. And I know throw the book at them is like a thing, but no. Throw the book at this one. But it goes to what a bigger problem in the United States of America is. Besides the opioid epidemic, besides fentanyl being on every corner, besides, you can go back to the 70s, right? And I go back to blaming Reagan on this. But what we've done in the United States of America is we've glorified the drug dealer and the life that they get. Even if it's for 5 minutes, we glorify that 5 minutes. And so you go, no, Marvin, we don't do that. We can name massive drug dealers in this country better than we can name founders of Black Panther, right? Like I can say Bunchy Carter was instrumental in setting up what the Panthers were on the West Coast. You don't know who Bunchy Carter is, but I can say Tony Montana was him in the drug game. And you know who Scarface is. We can do this back and forth. We don't know who our real heroes are. They don't get movies, they don't get glorified, they don't get talked about. It's a part of the history that they refuse to put in schools. But we can get every movie in the world, every celebration about Lucky Luciano, the Teflon Don, not the president, the real Teflon Don, John Gotti. And we know these names. We are not prioritizing safety, raising our kids, or doing anything. And this is the last thing I'll leave you with on this topic. Obesity in the United States is at a percent of 68 to 70%. 68 to 70% of the United States of America is obese. Not fat, obese. Obese is a disease, right? Instead of doing things in the United States to mitigate this disease and help our country, what's the #1 commercial you see on TV? McDonald's. Something to think about, ladies and gentlemen. And on that note, that is our time. Oh, that's my story time. Here on Comedy Trap House News, let's jump into the chat like we do and have a little bit of fun, ladies and gentlemen. So Finch, don't start here with that foolishness. Elmer, first of all, we appreciate, I pounded the mic. We appreciate the love. Go ahead and get that Emmy Award winning energy out here. He ain't dropped an album in a billion years. Listen, Usher don't have to drop an album in a billion years, okay? When Mike did the Super Bowl, he hadn't dropped an album in, actually he did drop an album. It wasn't a good album though. It wasn't a good album. And Raymond versus Raymond was a good album. You remember, oh my God, I did it again, so I'ma let the beat drop. And that's gonna go hard. That's gonna go hard during the Super Bowl. You know it. And then, yeah. I can do this all day. I'm an Usher fan, clearly, if you didn't pick that up. Vegas next month. Oh, Big Sis Chris, see, that's it. I was saying the same thing to the gym team. Like, we got to get to Vegas before it's over. Getting tased to band music is wild, right? Like, here's the messed up part, right? I wanted to play the drum scene at the end of Drumline, and then just put Zap music over it. But I was like, that's too much. We gotta keep it classy here at Comedy Trap House News. That's hilarious. Caked up. Obesity. Wait. Deshaun stayed with a question. Would you rather read the mind of whomever you're touching, or whenever you talk to someone, they'll finish your sentence? I'd rather read the mind of someone I'm touching. Someone trying to finish my sentence just sounds annoying all the time. I don't. That one was easy. Welcome, Dwayne. We're glad you got to catch it live. Where's Mike Stam? 101 points. Let people know. Hey, you got to reach out. I can go down the hall and see what happened, but y'all got to let them know. Y'all got to spice it up. Is that it, though? Oh, not a lot in the chat this week. That's cool. All right, well, that's it. That's our time here at Comedy Trap House News. Thank you for banging on us again. Like, share, subscribe. Click the bell, ladies and gentlemen. It's not hard. I don't know. Like, y'all come through, y'all watch, y'all refuse to hit the thumbs up. You refuse to hit the bell. Just do it. Just Nike it. It's that simple. I'm always like, hey, guys, get the likes up. Just